So just to start, the film score was composed by James Newton Howard, and some other scores that he's composed are from Dinosaur, from Atlantis: The Lost Empire, Maleficent, and the new don't I think I'm about to butcher this, but it's like Raya or Raya in The Last Dragon. I saw the trailer and it's very short and it says her name, but I couldn't remember the pronunciation. But yeah. So the film score is very orchestral. It's very like full sounding.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was perfect for the movie. Like there's just so many scenes and I'm like the music here is so good. It's amazing. So what do you was there anything musically or sound design wise, sound effects, whatever, for you that just really stood out to you when you watched the movie?
Yeah, I think the main, I guess, the theme song in this case is, what is it? It's
I'm Still Here.
I'm Still Here. Yeah, that's right. I'm Still Here. I think that fits the movie, or the feel of the movie that they're trying to get, or at least with Jim, because it's very almost rebellious, but more I'm trying to explore the world while also trying to explore who I am. I'm actually going to pull up some lyrics just because I'm like kind of interested to see what they say. So,
yeah, that sounds good. So going into the song a little bit more as he pulls that up, it's by John Resnick. He has a Z after the R in his name, so I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But he also has another song in this movie, and I just totally forgot the title of it. But it's near the end of the movie, around the credits. Oh, there we go. So the song that I was trying to find is Always Know Where You Are, and that's also by John Resnick and his British pop rock group.
Okay, here we go. Some things that I think fit his character are like the lines, "You can't take me and throw me away, and how can the world want me to change? They're the ones that stay the same." With his case, his character almost seems like their family is in poverty, because like with his board, when you see his board, it has the solar sails, but it has like patches on it. So it's almost like indicative of him being in poverty and almost like their family being in poverty, which is like an interesting like idea with this futuristic world. There's still poverty. And so I just really enjoy that. And like kind of with like the skater stereotype, it's this, the world wants me to be something I'm not. And so I'm almost in this rebellious mindset of I don't want to be that because that's not who I am. I really enjoy that song because I think it matches what the movie's trying to get the audience to feel.
Yeah, so I just found a Wikipedia page on this song. It's really interesting because it says for Disney's science fantasy film, which I've heard that term before. I think they use that term for Star Wars, possibly. And basically what I think it means is it's less like science fiction, like dystopian societies and like this very like high-tech thing. And because if you look at Star Wars, it's in a galaxy far, far away, but it's also a long, long time ago or a long time ago. So it's like old. It's like ancient science fiction. I think that's like what science fantasy is in a lot of ways. And like how they have in Star Wars, they have basically like knights, I guess, in a lot of ways. And that the Jedi Knights, there's this group of knights, and it's in like Kylo Ren, he has the Knights of Ren, which is a very like King Arthur type of thing, very fantasy in a lot of ways. But yeah, the song was in the key of A major, so yeah.
That's good to know.
That is good to know. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so it was written for the movie. But yeah, I really love this song too. It's always been a favorite of mine ever since seeing the movie. I think, yeah, it really characterizes Jim and his character really well. They did really good on that. So, in talking a little bit about sound design, which is something I've kind of gotten into a little bit, and it's super fascinating how people make sound effects and stuff and mix maybe different sound effects to make the sound effect that they want. So, Star Wars is very like, pew, pew, like lasers. And there's a movie made after that, and they were doing sound effects for it. And the director or someone specifically said, like, I don't want it to be like pew pew. I want it to feel different. But it was like some kind of science thing. Can't think. Maybe it'll come to me. But kind of going into that sound design, something that's really cool that I read about is for making the sounds for the whirring of the motors and stuff for John Silver, they found like little tiny wind-up toys and things that were very mechanical. So instead of using sound effects that seemed to be very high tech, they were more mechanical and very ancient, I guess. I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting how they used that for the sound. And then also for Ben, they thought a little bit about doing a robotic voice for him, but since he was a very main character, they realized that the actor's voice for that Martin Short would be a lot better for the whole movie and for the comedic relief for it to come across.
Right.
So yeah, wow, that was a lot of stuff. That was pretty good. So one thing that I wanted to finish with, and we didn't really talk a lot about it, was his relationship with his mom. And I think it's showing these different relationships with throughout the movie. But he goes from being kind of like this teenage angsty boy who's just like, I want to do my own thing, to becoming this man and being able to support his mom and be there for her when she's been there for him like his whole life. Mm-hmm. But I think it's really cool how the movie starts. It starts with telling the story of Treasure Planet and him as this little kid and his mom reading him this really cool book that it's basically like pop-up images, but it's like holograms.
Yeah, which is sick.
Yeah, I want one of those books. But it starts out with this scene with him as a kid and his mom telling him the story and him looking up to his mom as this amazing person. Then it kind of skips forward to when he's a little bit older and he's a teenager. His relationship with his mom's kind of iffy, just as it is with a lot of teenagers. They kind of try to separate from their parents. But in the end, he becomes that adult, really, in a lot of ways. And in the end, he's able to be there for his mom as his mom was there for him, which I think is a really cool thing. They just brought it in all full circle. And yeah, it's an awesome movie. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting, too. Just like one last thing is they had started storyboarding and writing up for the second movie, but it did so bad in the box office that they didn't make one, which is really sad. And there's a huge group of people I know that want that movie to be made.
I bet, yeah.
And people have even written like scripts and stuff for it and drawn character designs for different characters. It's amazing. It's not as big as Star Wars, of course, but Treasure Planet is getting its fan base, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. So I guess we reached the end here, guys. I hope you have learned a lot about this movie and you've really enjoyed going on this journey with us, talking about this amazing movie that maybe some of you haven't even seen before. But it is an amazing movie, and if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. I recommend it 100%.
I would also encourage you to go watch it and to come up with your own ideas.
That's all we have for today, kids. Remember, God made you special.
I love you very much. Bye. Just totally still VeggieTales.
Yeah. Oh man, I have to get going to my class. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much again for joining us. And we'll see you guys next time when we talk about the next movie. We're going to figure out what that's going to be. But it's going to be good. I promise. See you guys later. Bye.